Hello, good morning, guys. Welcome back to a brand new week full of learning. I'm really proud of the effort that you have put in during the last 2 weeks, and I'm really excited to see what you're bringing this time. Today, we're going to continue working on our Unit 4, specifically on our lesson number 5. Our teaching point for today is I can compare and solve addition and multiplication comparison problems. Last time, we were practicing multiplication and division problem, how can we solve them using opposite operation. In the last one, the very last one, we try addition and subtraction as opposite operation. So today we're going to see how we can relate addition and multiplication to comparison problem. Today is Monday, March 30, 2020. Our lesson name for today is Discuss Comparison Problems, right? So just after you copy the date and lesson name, make sure that we start right away with our quick practice. What are we doing today? We have another situation where were given different factors. So let's read it. How many possible products can you get using any combination of two factors chosen from these five factors? You got 2, 4, 5, 6, and 8. So how many possible combinations? Remember that a product is actually the result of multiplying two or more factors. In this case, we are going to be trying each factor times the remaining ones. So at the end, we're going to see how many possible products we have. Remember to show your work. Right here, I'm sharing with you the answer. So you're supposed to get 10 products. And these are the products that you're going to get. But I want to see how you can actually approach to that answer and your work. So let's move on to our mini lesson for today. All right. So right here we have a situation when we're comparing plums and apples. These are fruits. In our lesson number 4, you learned about multiplication and division comparison situations. You can also compare by using addition and subtraction. You can find how much more or how much less one amount is than another. The amount more or less is called the difference right here. That's the missing one. And we're going to represent it every time with an oval. Always, or most of the time, we're going to represent our total right at the top with the longest bar. Then the other one of the items that we have, we're going to represent it with this, with another rectangle, and then the piece that we don't know, the item that we don't know, we're going to represent it with an oval. Something that you need to keep in mind is that when we try comparison bars, this should go horizontally. I was taking a look at your work and I saw some of you actually trying this vertically, but this is the way that we're going to always try them, right? So comparison bars can help us to show which amount is more, and we're going to show the difference in an oval. So let's take a look. So before we get to continue, let's take a look at these two questions. We have this drawing right here, this diagram represented, but we can actually target it in two different ways. I can actually focus first on the plums, and then I could try focus my question on the apples. So if I try the plums first, I would I would ask, how many more plums than apple does mine have? So this time, I see that I have a total of 12, but I'm focusing on how much more I have than apples. So then right here, you see that I have a missing item that we need to solve before I can actually answer that one. But then if I focus, however, on the apples, I would say, how many fewer apples? Because I'm lacking apples to actually match the amounts of plums that I have. How many fewer apples than plums does mine have? Right? So depending on the way that the question is structured, then you will need to represent the comparison bars right here. So let's try this one so you can actually see this on display. You're going to be solving from this time two more situations. So I'm going to try the first one for you, and then you're going to give it a try on your own to the remaining ones on your independent work. Now, draw comparison bars for each problem. Write and solve an equation. Discuss other equations you could use. Right, so this is the situation. Nursery has 70 rose bushes, right? And 50 tea tree bushes. How many fewer tea tree bushes than rose bushes are at the nursery, right? So right here I can see that my greatest amount is 70 rose bushes. So I'm going to try that at the very top as my total, right? Now, they're telling me that I also have 50 tea tree bushes. So I'm going to represent that in that green rectangle right here, right below. Now, I can see that 50 doesn't match 70. So what I'm going to try to fill out the gap that I have is that this gap right here will be filled out with a oval and will represent the difference, the missing item that I will need to get. So how many fewer tea tree bushes than rose bushes are in the nursery, right? So you're going to find two lines right like this. One will be for you to display the equation that you may try. Remember that we have two different types of equations. We have first a situation equation, and then we have a solution equation. So let's take a look. If I write my equation to represent this problem, I will have the item that I have right here, 53 T3 watches, plus the difference that I don't know, that I need to find out what that is. And then I have my total that is right at the top. Now, if I solve for D, then I will say, or I know, if I actually draw a math mountain, that I need to subtract the item that I have from my total. So that means that I will subtract 50 from 70. And then that would be equal to 20, right? That you could do some mental math right there. Now at the line below, we're going to answer our question. Going back to our question would be, how many fewer tea tree bushes than rose bushes are at the nursery? So since our difference is 20, then our answer is 20 fewer tree tea bushes right there. So basically, it's just representing your comparison bars, and basically the drawing right there tells you the operation to use. As, as soon as you see that you're missing um, an item right here, that is subtraction right away. If you're missing the total, then you're supposed to add this too. All right, on our next situation, we're going to be solving situation where we're supposed to use either addition or multiplication. You will need to identify the operation that you need to use and then identify them right here, which type. For example, if it's either addition or multiplication. And then you're going to write the equation that you used and the answer, right? So even though you get the number, you're supposed to explicitly state the answer in written, long answer. For each problem, draw a model and write addition or multiplication to identify the type of comparison. Then write and solve an equation to solve the problem. All right? So a large bookstore sold 19,813 books on Saturday and 22,964 books on Sunday. How many fewer books did the bookstore sell on Saturday than on Sunday? Right? So right here we have a situation where I need to compare the amount of books sold on Saturday against the amount of books sold during Sunday. So right here, basically, I will have a situation where I need to subtract. But how am I supposed to identify this as either addition or multiplication if I'm supposed to subtract? Remember that addition and subtraction are inverse operation. They cancel each other out. So if I have a situation where I have subtraction, I can actually represent this as an addition. So if I identify this one, the type of a comparison would be addition. Now, if I want to actually write my equation, it would be the 19,813 books sold on Saturday, right here, plus the difference that I don't have, equal to the 22,964 books that were sold on Sunday. I use 22,964 as an equal because this is the greatest amount. So that way, when I develop my equation, I can easily subtract this amount right here from my total, which is 22,964. When I do that, I can actually try the vertical form for me to see it, for me to solve it in an easier way. And then I can come up right here with my answer, which is 3,151. Stating this in written, so my answer will be 3,151 fewer books were sold actually on Saturday than on Sunday. Right, so during your independent work, you're going to be working first with two exercises that resemble to the situation that we first solved, where you were supposed to draw a comparison bar and then write and solve an equation to actually display your answer. I recommend that you read the word problem and try to figure it out in your mind first. Then plot out the drawing, and then the equation will come out easier. If you read it, you don't get it the first time, give it a second try. I know that word problems can be tricky, and in this time they're actually involving two different operations. Right, so on the second one, you're supposed to classify it as the one we tried before as either addition or multiplication. And then you need to come up with your different equations to actually solve the problem and come up with your answer. So right here you have two lines as well. Remember to show your models right there, because that way I can actually see the way that you're thinking. And then at last you have two more that you're going to write and solve an equation to solve each problem. Draw a comparison bar when needed. In this case, you can probably solve this once in your mind. So probably you won't need to actually make comparison bar. So in this situation will be up to you, but you need to actually show me the equation that you try, right? Right, guys, that will do it for today. I hope that you enjoy working on these exercises. Um, as you're still missing some assignments on my plate, so I encourage you to get on running on this. And that will do it for today. Thank you and see you in another edition. Bye bye.